Hey, this is Shea Pegues, owner of IDAP Solutions and former castmate of Ready to Love Season 1. You are watching Champagne Vibes with Angel LaShonn. Cheers.
Step into the champagne vibes. Come and catch the vibe. Step into the champagne vibes. Come and catch the vibe.
Welcome to Champagne Vibes with me, Angel LaShonn, and I'm so excited because I got my big sis Shea in the room. Hi, Shea.
Hey, Poe.
So Shea is not only the owner of IDAP Solutions, she is my castmate
Yes.
from
And your big sister.
Big Sister
From
for
Ready to
sure,
Love.
from Ready to Love.
But we met way before then.
Didn't we?
Way before.
Shea met me grinding. I was out doing sales, popped up in her building, and she was lighting somebody up. And I was like,
Oh my
she's so
God.
pretty, but she don't play. And then she looked at me like, oh, how you doing? And just started talking about business. And I'm like, who is this woman?
Too funny.
Crazy, right?
And then what, the following week or two?
It was probably, I know it was less than a month later. We showed up on set our first day of filming. I looked at her, I'm like, I
That's
know
right.
you. She's like, I know you. And we ain't been able to get rid of each other ever since.
Never gonna get rid of each other. Especially when we find out we from the same
State,
area,
like,
state,
yeah.
like 30 minutes apart. That's
Shea
crazy.
is from Saginaw and
Woo.
I'm from Flint.
Mhm.
We were meant to be.
Yes.
We were meant to
Absolutely.
be. That's
Absolutely.
crazy.
Absolutely.
So Shea is here because, of course, we're gonna get into like reality versus reality TV.
Woo, child.
But everybody sees like the strong, like tough Shea, but I got to see the softest, loving, like cutest lady ever. So I want for y'all to get like a taste of that if you're lucky enough today. So
You know that soft side is not for public consumption, but for you, I do anything
let's
for
just
you.
give them a taste. See, y'all see that? That was so sweet right there. That's the Shea I know outside of Boss Lady. So Shea, who are you?
First and foremost, I'm a mother and a daughter. I'm absolutely fierce about my son and my family. And then after that, I'm a businesswoman. So, you know, those three things are in place for a reason and in that order for a reason. Because I cannot forget my family. And then the business comes next. And then, you know, I consider you family. So you're all, you know, nicely wrapped up in that package.
Same. No, seriously, like me and Shea can like not talk for like 2 months.
Right.
And I call her or she called me, she'll be like, I was just thinking about you. Like, can't believe you called. We'll be on the phone for like 3 hours.
It's like telepathy, honey. We've been thinking about each other. I'd be like, hold on. I ain't seen you surface in a minute. What's going on with you?
And usually it's something going on.
Yes.
And vice versa. We just connect like that. So, okay, you're like this strong boss lady. You've given your story on TV like so many different times, like from growing up in an entrepreneurial household to becoming that yourself, like to becoming a single mom. And it's like, what would you say your strengths are in 3 sentences?
Oh, man. My strengths are I'm resilient. I can bounce back from any situation. Just give me a second to cry and have my moment. I'm persistent. I understand no just like I understand yes. So, but that's not going to stop me. I'm not going to be detoured. And I'm fully capable. I'm capable. I feel like I can do anything. If I want to change out an engine in a car, you give me a second to study it and figure it out, and I'm in there, I can do it.
Like literally, because I see you working those machines in your shop, and I'm like, how do you know how to do that? Like,
I got a good team. I got great people around me, people that just stuck in there with me throughout the struggle and I listened. I was very coachable. So, and I think that's a big thing, putting your ego to the side and submitting and understanding that you don't know everything, but you can learn something from anybody. So that was one of the best things about the business that I'm in.
So when it comes to, we're going to go back to you saying like you understand no just as well as you understand yes. How did you get to that point? Because we all love yes, but when there's a no, like sometimes that can paralyze some people. So
Right. Just understanding what the no is about and how no can build you up. You know, sometimes people say no for a reason. And to me, that's an empowerment phase where, okay, I get you said no. Why did you say no? Did you say no because I didn't do a good job? One of my best memories is I worked for Chrysler for about 20 years, and I didn't get the same pay as another girl came afterward. And I was deeply hurt. I held on to it for months, and finally I asked my boss, I said, what is pay based on? Is it based on TNA? Is it based on education? Because this chick is it based on color? And she just said that the girl outbidded me. Okay, so if you want to keep me and I'm all of that, I need to, get paid more. And so my boss told me, you're valuable to me. I don't want to lose you, and I'm willing to bump you up. And so that just taught me the art of negotiation and understanding the no and why. Some things are just flat out, it's a no, it's no way around it. And being able to accept that, but let me try another route. So I accept my no's just like I accept my yeses. Sometimes yes make everything so much easier to pass by. You don't get a chance to really appreciate what you've accomplished because it was a breeze to get the yes. But when it's no, you like trying to figure it out. Why no? Why couldn't you get this house? Oh, I got to get my credit straight. Why I couldn't get this car? Why I couldn't get this business location? Why? So then you go back, tool up, re-gear, and come back to get the yes, right?
So it sounds like the no is the growth.
It
like
is.
You grow in no.
Yes.
That's
you
dope.
grow and know.
You grow and know.
That's a dope shirt. You grow and know.
Well,
Okay,
I need you
I
to
like
make
that.
it.
Okay, I'm on
You
that.
grow and know. Period. So, okay. We talked about the strengths. We talked about the business. That's your life. Let's get into the juicy stuff.
Oh, Lord. What you want to know, child?
Reality TV. We went through that journey together.
Right. And we were babies, man. We didn't get it.
Oh, my God. Shay, I was so green.
Yeah.
I wasn't a fool. I had self-control. And then I don't get so emotionally involved with somebody that I just met, you know?
I don't think the show really relayed, and it's manipulative to the point that they can make you look in whatever kind of light they want to. But I get like, you gave the I don't give a fuck attitude while everybody was like, she's not, she's weak. And I'm like, y'all don't even understand that she really don't give a good goddamn.
But you understood that because you got to know me. It's like, I felt like everybody was talking around me. Like there were only a couple people that talked to me. You talked to me.
Yeah, I pulled you to the
Aaron
side and was like, look, this is
to
what the
me.
deal, yeah.
Like even when Aaron was on BS, like half the time I knew it. You're not getting a reaction out of me. So it's like sometimes you get more out of a person when you talk to them,
Right.
as opposed to talking around them. So I felt like I was misunderstood a lot.
Oh, you were very misunderstood. And I don't think they really understand the gangster in you. I think they was really taking it like, oh, she a pushover. I'm like, this girl will catch your ass and beat your ass if you keep playing with her.
I'm glad
don't
you
let
know.
don't let the preface fool you. You will get your ass drug up in here.
It's so bad. I remember when we had that moment that didn't go on air.
Oh.
When you said, "Oh, time to go."
Oh yeah.
I got ganged up on.
I was just
and
talking
I
about that the
lost my
other
shit.
day.
I lost it.
I was like, that's enough for, some people get drug in here.
I lost it. If it weren't for you and Tiffany, I would have gotten kicked off the show because I was at my peak.
And I think Tiffany got it because Tiffany was no joke too. And I think that she was very misunderstood. So I think between the three of us, Tiffany was like, ooh, this the quiet before the storm. Let's get her on up out of here.
Oh, Tiffany saved me because she had to when you said, oh, time to go, Tiffany kept me there you got everybody else out.
Mm-hmm.
And she had to just talk to me like, Angel, this is not the way.
Girl,
like, I got this scar on my face from fighting. Like, we're not about to do this. And I'm just like, I'm tired. I'm tired of everybody coming for me. Like, I came here to have fun, came here to have a good time, and they are, excuse my language, they fucking with me.
Yeah, that's that manipulation that people don't get a chance to see on the back of reality TV. So they steady, and then there's some people with the shit. I think it's like me and you that's like, look, you know, our life exceeds beyond this. This is not, but there's other people who felt like they were gonna be superstars behind it. So I'm gonna give you the worst bullshit ever.
Yeah.
I'm with the shit, I'm gonna stir the pot. And don't even know, like I had told a couple people, I was like, look, they sending you in a dark room with a room full of hornets nests and telling you to swing, and I'm gonna get your ass. When these cameras off, I'm gonna get your ass out in that parking lot. Stop playing with me.
Like, seriously.
So, you know, I mean, but they all thought that for the most part that this was gonna be the launch pad to the next, you know,
the next
franchise
thing.
or next hit show, not knowing that this was a one-time opportunity and they were going to get all they could from us and move on to the next group, thus season 7 with a whole new cast.
Whole new cast, but with this kind of like the same format. I mean, I think the cool thing is we are the only ones that had the format that we had.
Yes.
But at
we
the
got away
same
with
time,
murder.
Yeah.
They was like ice. And we'd be like, yeah, shut the fuck up. Now, what was you saying? Or, Angel, what's your telephone number? You guys can't share phone numbers. We was like, too late.
They gave us so many rules for the first season. Now, they don't have any rules.
I thought they clamped down on them tighter.
No,
okay.
they hanging out.
Oh,
they
wow.
are, like, I've watched a couple seasons. No, they got all the leeway. You know, they're very affectionate on the show now.
Well, I think
we weren't really doing that.
Because I think we were more reserved as a show, and we all, like, come on, Tiffany has a banking career. Most of the people on the show had serious careers, and they refused to let them go so far. Because I was like, look, I got a mama and daddy at home, and I got family watching. Matter of fact, Saginaw's about as big as this room, and all I need is to act a fool on TV for them to show out. So we just gonna keep this. Because that
was definitely something I was experiencing. Like, once people watch the show, they know I don't mess with anybody. Mm-hmm. So it's like when they see like certain things, they're on Twitter like, oh, you gonna get it, da da da, or we need to pull up, whoopty whoopty whoop. But that's what happens when you're on reality TV and you're from a small town. Like, your city is going to back you.
Even the people who don't like you, like, oh, you ain't gonna, no, we can talk about her, but you ain't gonna talk about her.
Yeah, that's how it is, and that's how it was. Shout out to Flint and Saginaw.
Okay.
Because they're about that life. So, okay, how do you feel you were perceived on the show?
I think I did a pretty good job. The only thing I didn't care for is they tried to make it seem like I was jealous at one point, which I gave no shit about. I don't, you know,
what you talking about?
The situation between Mike and Tiffany. They tried to make it like I was jealous about this whole thing.
You know, they tried to get me to be the one.
I know. What were they calling? They were calling me Gotti or something. They was like, okay, we get it. Gotti isn't gonna allow. I was like, y'all tripping.
They were trying to get me to be the one to go behind your back and like
mess
with Mike, and I was like, no.
Nobody wanted to get involved. Nobody wanted to do it.
We're too cool for that. Like, they damn near go together in real life. Like, I'm not about to be that girl on TV that everybody hates because I done went behind my friend's back to try to get her man. Like, no.
I told you, the people for reality TV, I mean, it's their job is to be messy. Yeah. You know, so I get it. I wasn't offended by it. But I just think for the most part, you know, I was really concerned about how they made me look. But when I meet people out in the street, particularly other women that were like, you did a great job. I'm so proud of you. So I didn't come off, you know, we liked how strong you were. But, you know, like I said, you get a few trolls who won't leave you alone, who is like, she'll never get a man. You don't know what I got going on when I'm so glad. You met me for 10 minutes a week, and you just know my entire life, and you just, great. I'm glad. So
I still get people in my DMs, you know, in the part where random messages go. They're like, oh, like, I post random memes. Like, I repost a lot of memes. And I'll be sitting in my bed rubbing my feet together, like, laughing, but I'll repost something that I agree with. And I'll literally have people in my DMs like, oh, God is gonna send you the man. Just
You
chill
can have
out
20
and
men. They
relax.
don't know. They don't know
Like,
what you got going on.
Y'all don't know nothing. Clearly, y'all don't know
telling
me
you.
because, honey, the last thing I'm worried about is
That is
that.
the downfall of reality TV. And I got to admit that sometimes I have to catch myself because I might be watching, you know, a housewives show or reality TV show. And I'm like, that she wrong. I could never understand why people would be like, Nene, I hate your makeup or your wig look crazy. I'm like, what difference does it make what her wig look
It's
like? You tripping.
entertainment. Like, some people, you know, they live like their best times
yeah.
in the day is being able to sit down with their favorite meal and watch their favorite show.
And live vicariously through everybody. Yeah, that's
through
why
the characters on TV. Like, regardless of if you are on reality TV or not, you are a character. And whatever is put out there, once the production is complete and on TV, becomes who you are. You can explain yourself over and over again, but they are only going to see what they saw on TV because that is now your character. You can either surrender to your character, remove yourself from it, from the whole experience altogether, or try to navigate through, like, how do I get back to some sense of normalcy without this character, like, changing me, or, you know?
We saw the cast and everybody start to evolve and change that was on the show. I mean, from people now, every time you turn around, somebody call it the jackknife pose. Every 5 minutes, they got their face and butt turned around. Or they dancing every 5 minutes. And like, what are you doing? Or documenting every move you make whenever you're dating somebody. It's like, we saw the turn. Like, they really tried to turn reality TV into their real life reality.
Yeah.
And me and you be on the phone like, what the fuck is going on? What is wrong with this bitch?
And then you have, like, us, where people probably think we haven't had a man since
I don't think
Ready to Love.
They think I had Shason. Like, I never had a relationship. You know, he was a part of a litter, and I grabbed one of the litter, you know, the puppies, and he became. I mean, like, they don't know. So, and then at one point it was like, you sound like you hate your son, and I'm like, look. Anybody with a teenager,
what they got from your
man,
story?
they was tripping. Like, you know, like I despise having a son, and I'm like, I'm speaking, you know, because a lot of people talk about their experience with children and their children, and they don't tell what it really is. Like, it's hard and it's a struggle, and there's a point that you're mad that somebody else is not participating and helping, and you're trying to figure out. It's that moment where you can, you know, unleash your emotions on your child, or you try to make it a better situation that you never put yourself in that you know, situation again. So
I feel like you expressing that, like, showed your vulnerability to tell the truth. So it's like, for people to take that and flip it into something negative, it just says more about, like, where they are. Like, maybe they're just not comfortable in being vulnerable in their truth.
Girl.
And that's typically what all of the feedback that we get stems from. Some of it could be very true, you know?
What I learned is that if you're on a television show, you are never going to make anybody happy. Either people are going to feel like you're too strong or you're too weak. The moment that I was like, okay, let's see how it go, Mike, they were like, look at her. She's just giving in, and she's gonna drag her. And I'm like, dang, y'all was just crying a week ago about I'm too, you know, like I got a wall up. Now that I'm trying to break the wall down a little bit, now it's like he's playing her. I'm like, man, okay, whatever. You got to tune it out.
Tune the noise out.
You have to tune it out.
You have to.
Or you would go crazy.
You have to. I remember there was a point where I think I kind of got depressed.
I think we all did.
Yeah, like it's like no one really prepared us for the experience once the show aired. They took us through all these psychiatric evaluations.
Yeah, just to make sure you
to
didn't
make
show
sure
up on
we
set
weren't
and
gonna kill everybody.
Exactly.
But they didn't. No one can really prepare you. You can talk to people about, like, what you're gonna experience once the show airs, but nothing can prepare you for life after reality TV.
No.
Like, you can say you're not going to pay attention to comments or that stuff doesn't get to me. I'm confident. I'm good. But there will be days where you wake up in the morning and you're going to see something that's going to trigger you and you go crazy. It's like, I had to learn that you can't try to prove people wrong or, prove who you are. Why do you care?
It's too many. I mean, I just saw Mike the other day was arguing with somebody, and I'm like, dude, you doing good. Why is it even necessary to respond? But I used to think way before we got on television, and I think I saw Cardi B or somebody going back and forth. And I'm like, chick, you done made it. This is a chick that's on her break at McDonald's going back and forth with you. And you even entertaining this. Why are you even entertaining? And then here I am. I'm like the text bird. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
But it'll catch you up and your heart is beating and you're waiting for them to hit you back so you can say something back. And next thing you know, it's 2 days later arguing with some idiot.
And you still feeling away.
Yes.
And it's like, I look back on that now and it's like, I still get hate. I don't know if like when they post reruns, I'll get like a random that'll go all the way back to like my posts from when the show was
they
on.
scrolling.
Like
they
3, 4 years ago.
They in picture 3.
They will start commenting on there about the show. And I'm like, what? And then I'll have to dial back. Like, just let them enjoy. Like, let them have it. Because they get excited when you respond. They're like, oh, she sees me. Like.
Well, just think 6, 7 years ago, you didn't have. They've brought reality TV to their home where they're in the reality. You can really argue with these stars on television in real time, so that's exciting to a person that is in some podunk town that really never talks to anybody, and now this is their interaction. I still get people going, oh my God, you're a celebrity. And I'm like, where?
Right.
I was on one season of Ready to Love, but people feel like you are a superstar. And Atlanta is full of superstars.
Yeah.
Everywhere you go, everybody's a star. Some type of YouTube, reality TV, some type of independent film or something. So everybody is a superstar.
Everybody's doing something to where it's not a big deal to us. It's for me, I feel like I was so laid back, and when I look at the scenes, I feel like I look different on each scene. So it was so easy for me to lay low, like once the show was over, even though I was on there the whole season. I could go pretty much anywhere. Nobody knows who I am. And I'm like, this is great because I got the experience of being on TV, and I know who I need to know, but I can skate and not be bothered until you get like one person that's like, I know you, or you look familiar. And it doesn't bother me. It's actually cool.
First of all, you're so beautiful. I mean, you look more than familiar. They be trying to work a way to talk to you. Like, you look familiar. Can I get your number?
And I'll just be like, I do. Like, oh, okay. Like, I'll never say, like, well, you might know me from. I'll just be like, oh, okay, well, let me know. Like,
yeah, they working their way up on trying to holler at you,
girl, I don't want nobody that saw me on reality TV and well, I probably
it's creepy,
shouldn't say
isn't it?
that, but it's like, you know what I don't like? I don't like when you know me from reality TV and you don't tell me that. Because then it's kind of like you.
You talking about a guy?
Yeah, guy.
Okay.
Then it's kind of like you trying to keep a secret that
well,
you already kind of.
Groupie.
I mean, you don't have to be a groupie, but don't act like you don't know me from that.
And they trying to play it cool.
Is that what it is? Because it's creepy to me.
Because they don't want to come off. I mean, they're going to lose either way. So if they say they seen you on the show, then they're going to be a groupie. Because my first thought is, why are you looking at Ready to Love? Why are you looking at Ready to Love?
No shade.
So,
yeah.
I mean, but, or I'll get, my sister told me, my sister sent me a picture of you and she think I should date you. But I just think that with you, they're going to lose either way. If they don't tell it, then, and if they do tell it, they're going to be a groupie.
The thing that was creepy to me, it was one guy. I mean, the way he was talking, you would have never known that, like, he knew me from that show. So I'm like, okay, cool. Like, we had good conversation. And then something happened where he just kind of rubbed me the wrong way. And it wasn't anything that he did, but it was the fact that I think I was familiar to him, but he was trying so hard to act like I wasn't, and I started picking up on it, especially when he came and found me on social media.
Oh, okay.
And I was just like,
But that's the go-to now. We
But he
still
didn't
living
know,
between
like, my-
old school and new school world.
he didn't even know my last name.
Oh, then how he find you?
Like, we had just met. And
Oh,
you know
so
what
he
I
probably
mean?
looked up the cast.
Yeah,
okay,
like that was
yeah.
weird. I'm like, we don't have any mutual friends. I don't even know your Instagram. Like, found my page, then went to my friend's page. I won't even go into detail because
Yeah.
I don't want to make anyone feel away. But yeah, it was weird. So I have kind of like a thin line between that. I can't say I don't want somebody because they know me from the show. Because, maybe someone great will see me and want me or
But
something.
you got so many platforms now, from
Yeah.
this to, some other things, projects you're working on, to the reality show. So now you
I mean,
on a
it's fine if
different- yeah.
they do know me. Just say, don't act like you don't know me.
Come
from
out
the
the gate and be like, I seen you on the show. I thought you
You
was
ain't
fine.
gotta tell me the first time, but like if we are continuing to get to know each other, I need you to say something. Like, don't just be acting like I'm a stranger. So, okay. With us saying like we both kind of experienced depression at some point, like I didn't know I was depressed at the time,
Girl,
but I noticed myself picking up more wine bottles than normal.
I went through 70 episodes of Game of Thrones. I am now officially a Game of Thrones. Like tonight, I'm watching House of Dragons. I'm like, we're gonna have to get this, I have to wrap this up so I can see my show.
So like everybody deals with things differently. Like mine was more so like having wine before I went to bed, like not wanting to deal with like how I felt or like how disappointed I was and like how I thought it would go versus how it went.
Right.
And I really had to like tap into, okay, these behaviors are continuing a little bit too much. You're going to have to reel it back in. Like, get back to your center, get back to your job, like, do what you need to do to get back to yourself and knock this BS out, you know?
Right.
And in that, it took me like breaking away from that person that I was dealing with on the show, as well as just getting back to like my core, which is God, like my faith, like all of that, because I was going down a bad road for a second, just kind of lost in disappointment, you know?
You hit it well.
And that's the thing, like in that happening, people closest to me didn't even know.
Yeah.
They didn't see it, and it wasn't that I was hiding it. I was just operating in my day-to-day, like doing what I do, business as usual. But when it's time to go to bed at night, it's like, that's when you feel.
Because you're sitting there thinking about
everything.
and washing it over in your mind about what happened, what you should have said, what you didn't do that you wish you did. And then we have our lives in some stranger's hand in LA somewhere that's editing the information on how they think you should be viewed. There's a reason why Post is disconnected from the producers. The producers at one point had became really good friends
Like
of ours.
family,
right? Yeah,
you know?
they cared about us. So they can't edit without trying to keep you in the best light, you know? So you have to send it off to strangers that has no attachment to you, they're about making a good show.
It's about the entertainment. And the ultimate goal is give a great show.
Yeah.
So it's like whatever you put out there, whatever you allow yourself to get into, just know it can be modified.
Oh, yeah.
You know, some things can be cut, some things can be added, like whatever the case may be. But I guess I would say you just can't take it personal. When you go into it, you got to know it's entertainment. And if you're not a producer or an executive producer on it, you have no say. You just got to roll with the punches.
The moment you sign that line and you release yourself in somebody else's hands. Even when I remember my girlfriend is in LA, she's an executive producer and a showrunner. And I would be calling her like, what are they doing over here? And she'd be like, Shea, they gonna feel like I'm telling you the secrets on how, I'm not giving them nothing. And she was like, you're gonna have to give them something. And sure enough, I remember Ashley dancing. I mean, there was no music going on. She was getting it. And I was like, what are you doing? And so then they switched and made the scene like Mike and Tiffany was talking. And like I had walked in on them and I was like, what are you doing? At that point, me and Mike literally had left his house together. See, that's the stuff that people don't know. It was never,
you're talking about that scene.
When we were at the Intercontinental.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was right after Aaron changed his mind
Switched
about
up on
eliminating
him.
me. They were production.
I don't think he ever changed.
hits.
I don't think he ever changed his mind about anything. I think
I'm
that
gonna
they
tell
were
you what happened.
convincing him, and he said, And then he really always wanted to
Oh
go
no,
with
it was a plan.
Okay.
So
on whose side?
It was a plan going on.
Okay.
Amongst a couple of them, including him.
Okay.
And it was more so like who's going to end the show together. I found all of this out after we filmed.
Okay.
So I think some people get frustrated. Like, if you knew all of this was going on, why didn't you say anything? He told me everything after our last day filming together before, our last scene together before we did.
That's when we were at the
show.
restaurant.
Yeah, so that's when he told me he wasn't ready for me to meet his kid or whatever.
Okay.
So, like, the viewers took that personally, but Aaron didn't want to bring his kid on that show because of everything that had been going on the whole time. He knew he showed his tail.
Right.
He didn't want to bring his kid into that. His family lived out of town. We weren't in a relationship, so it really didn't make sense. But what happened was, remember, when you watch it, you see, like, all of a sudden, he's like, I'm not feeling Angel anymore. She doesn't do it for me. Somebody was going back to him after we would have our wine meetings, telling him, like, Angel was talking shit about you. Like, she didn't have your back. I'm the only one that had your back.
So was it one of the producers?
No.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't. So that's when things kind of, like, started turning, and he started going in, like, different directions, and kind of, like, he told me this, like, kind of, like, blatantly, like, I'm off Angel, like, I don't know, whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. So he called me the night before he was going to eliminate me.
This is all news.
And he
to me.
told me that he's like, I just don't want nothing to, like, come up on you, like,
you get
unexpected.
Caught off guard. Yeah.
Like, we talked, like, you and Rita are going to get eliminated. Like, we feel like y'all just so sweet for this process. Like, we just don't even want to, like, take y'all through it no more, blah, 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 blah. Keep in mind, we were dating outside of TV. Right.
It's not outside.
I hate to admit that now,
but it wasn't all outside. It was just, it did what it was supposed to do.
Yeah.
Like,
so
y'all,
the
we just wasn't following
really,
the rules.
Yeah, we were breaking the rules because at that time, we weren't supposed to talk, date, anything outside of the show. But we all were. So he called me and he told me, like, you and Rita, like, y'all about to get eliminated, whoop, whoop, whoop. And he said something. I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. I was like, I'm not tripping. Like, I was good before the show. Like, I'm going to be good after the show. So, do what you need to do. And he was just like, damn, okay.
Well, what do you want you to do, cry?
And I was just like, all right, like, I'll talk to you later. Like, hit me up if we going out tonight. Like, bye. I didn't care. And that goes back to your point. I really wasn't tripping about nothing.
No.
So we go, he called me the next morning. Okay. Because I remember I got off the phone with him. I took a bath, got ready for bed, was like, well, I'm getting eliminated tomorrow. Got my little outfit together, was good. Wake up the next morning, this fool calls me. He was like, I just want you to know I changed my mind. Like,
oh, they was mad about that.
He's like, you've been, like, solid throughout this whole thing, like, giving this whole spiel. And I was like, make up your mind. Like,
no, they was big mad about it. They was big because they had,
They had to change up everything. Like, from a production standpoint, I get it now. They had to change everything. Like, they had to call Courtney, like, tell her, like, the plan has changed or whatever, change her filming schedule, because she was supposed to be at the Intercontinental. Not me. I was supposed to be out of there.
She wasn't there, right.
Yeah, because we filmed that same day.
Right.
So, it was a mess, and he ended up calling her, too, and telling her after he changed his mind and we had that whole scene, he called her and told her. He gave her a heads up, like, this is what happened. I changed my mind. Like, I just don't want you to be blindsided. So she showed up and ended it with him instead because she knew she was coming there to get eliminated. So Aaron was doing all this stuff on the back end, but he would call certain people and tell them, like, yo, this is what I'm doing.
He was spoiling their plan. I know that for sure. He was like enemy number one.
They hated him. And I said, oh my God, they're gonna, like, they are going to screw you. But in them screwing him, I got screwed too.
Yeah, you got thrown under the bus right with him. Yeah.
It's funny now. It was fun, but going into all of that, like, that's neither here nor there now. We had a good time. It was a good experience, right? And we can laugh about this stuff now. I can't say
nobody there was some egos that were very fragile that got wounded. Yeah. But I think for the most part, when I see, people from the cast. I'm happy. I'm genuinely happy to
Me
see them.
too.
Yeah, I'm glad
Like,
to
I
see
feel the
everybody's
same
doing
way.
well. You know.
I just saw Stormy a few days ago at an event. Like, it was all love. Like, she's so sweet and bubbly every time I see her. Like, I was happy to see her because I hadn't seen her in a while. And we had differences for a little bit. But we hashed that out, like, talked about it. Like, I'm celebrating everybody.
Yeah.
Even Courtney, like, we had differences at the reunion. Like, it got bad for a
It
second.
was all. I think it was just all puppeted.
Yeah, it was, and we kind of fell into the journey. But once I was out of that journey and like back to my normal self, like I reached out to her to give her well wishes. Like I saw she got married, she looked beautiful, and I feel like as adults, like you gotta push past the ego, you gotta push past the pride, and that's kind of how I got back to normalcy. Just kind of stepping out of the journey because that journey will take you under. And kind of just getting back to like my normal self.
Right.
So what did you do?
I just sunk myself. Well, I always knew that my priority was my shop. For a quick second, I had got it flashed through my head that, you know, going into entertainment might be, you know, a path to go. But then I realized, I was like, dang, you know, I got this building that I just signed a lease on, 6,000 square feet. You know, and there's I'm not gonna ruin myself financially because I'm chasing a dream of entertainment. At the time, I just couldn't, you know, let that go. Shason was just coming down to Atlanta with me. So I couldn't go that route. So I just poured myself into the shop. A lot of people think that I started making money hand over fist because I was on, you know, on the show. It just really invited 50, I think at the time when I started, I had 3,000 followers. It just invited 50,000 people in my life to scrutinize everything. But the cool part is you had some cheerleaders, and then you had some people that, you know, everything from, I remember somebody was talking about my eyebrows. and I thought I went kind of heavy on the pencil. And they were like, you look beautiful, but what the hell happened to your eyebrows? And I was like, damn, I might need to get these. But it just gives a person an opportunity to pull up on you. So I just, you know, the business is doing extremely well. You know, it was just a few hiccups in there. You got a couple people that will come down and see me at the shop, but it made me reprioritize what direction I was going to go. So I said, okay, I have to go down the route of taking this shop serious. If I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it right. And as you can see, I filmed several times in the shop because I refused to film anywhere else. What people don't know, simultaneously, I was working at V103. I was an on-air personality. I still was working for Chrysler doing auto shows. And then I was working at the shop, you know, so overnights at V, working at the shop, hopping on and off planes for Chrysler, and trying to and moving. So I was moving from one spot to the second spot. So my patience wasn't the best for anybody's bullshit, especially a bunch of adults trying to manipulate and play games with folks' lives, you know?
Yeah.
So I just dug in deep, and the shop is doing exceptionally well. You know, I got contracts, government contracts, and then sometimes I'd be like, maybe I should have took the route of entertainment because the shop is whooping my ass.
You know what? Entertainment will whoop your tail too.
Oh, will it? Okay.
I mean, I can't say it because I'm not 100% in entertainment.
But you up to your thigh in it.
I'm getting there. But my bread and butter is still technology sales.
Okay.
So I felt like when I was on the show, I'm like, oh, I got to start a business. Like, I got to get out of the corporate world because that's usually what you do after you've been on a show. Like when you look at like Housewives of Atlanta or Love and Hip Hop or whatever the case may be, you see them as entrepreneurs selling something.
But are they really though?
That is,
I think it'd be a bunch of, it's only a few people that I've seen successful at it. Rashida, Candy. I've seen a lot of people jumpstart and try, but I haven't really seen anybody take off on it. One of the things that I appreciate most about what happened is you sent me a client, Yokisha.
Yeah.
And from there, that's the benefit I got. A lot of the people that was doing production often call me, Shay, we need some, visuals for production. So that became my family, and that's how I benefited from the show.
The lesson I get from that is when you stay true to yourself and do what you do, like you'll get what you need. It's gonna come to you. Now, when you start scrambling, trying to figure out something,
we see people squirrel around.
Child. I'm just glad it wasn't
trying
me.
to do? What they on?
I'm just glad it wasn't me.
How many times I didn't text you? Hey, look at this and tell me what is she doing? What is he doing?
I feel like we've been like two of the most consistent ones as far as like staying true to who we are.
Yeah.
No shade towards anybody else, because I don't even know what everybody else is doing.
Yeah.
I only follow a few, but if we're just talking about me and you, we've been pretty consistent.
Oh yeah.
So,
and the reality is, the people have to go back to their reality when it's all said and done.
Yep.
So, whatever you think you were doing on there, the reality is, because think about it. All of our life before we get on TV, we want to have this image and perception of ourselves, whether it's to be regal, whether it's to be a businesswoman or man. And then when you have spent all your life, putting this image together, and then somebody takes 10 minutes a week for the next 10 weeks and they decide what your image is going to be, it's very jarring. You've built yourself up as a clean, decent, wonderful, loving sister, girlfriend, wife, and then somebody makes you a piece of shit on TV. And now you're fighting millions of people trying to prove otherwise. It can really play with your head. It can play with everything that you built up inside to be.
That quick, you take that long to build yourself up, and just like that, your perception of yourself can change based on
somebody else.
Yeah, that's crazy. We got to do better with that.
Yes.
But I think having these conversations will make other people aware so they don't do it. So with that being said, what is the best advice you've received, like on your journey in life?
So for me, my best advisor is my mother when it comes to relationships and accepting people for who they are. In my business, one of my biggest supporters was my mother, because when I moved to Atlanta, my dad and my uncle was just like, it's a bunch of pretty girls in Atlanta, but my thing wasn't here to come to Atlanta to showcase TNA. My thing was to come here and do what I do and have a bigger opportunity, not only for me, but for Shason too, because I have to build something for him. And so my mom said, they don't have Shay. And so with that being said, I go to her for everything. She's been married 10 years before I was born, so I'm gonna have a birthday soon, and I'll be knocking at the door.
Happy birthday!
Okay, I'll be knocking at the door of 50, but I just feel like...
Wait a minute, let's rewind. You're knocking at the door of what?
50. We ain't, and we ain't talking about the police.
What the hell are you
Hold on, let me take a drink. Hold on.
You got the Stay Young Forever potion? Like, I need
It's
you
to
to
cuss your
share
ass
that.
out if you get it, don't stress me out potion. That's what it is. I think a lot. My mom told me, she said stress will make you old, and I just could not, how? And when we go back to the crib, we look at people and we be like, what the hell happened to you?
I saw a meme that said, we went to high school together. I don't understand why you look like you 55.
And I was in a time capsule, and I've been preserved. So, my mom just has always told me, don't pay attention to what other people are doing. It's your race at your pace. Because the moment I look over there and see what Angela or Angel or any of the people that I know, are doing, then it makes me feel like I'm behind. I don't know what their struggles are. I don't know what's going on behind the scene. Instagram and social media has allowed us to look through somebody else's vantage point and think that they might have the best thing going on in relationships and business, and they could be falling apart when that camera is turned off. So just pay attention to what you're doing and do the best that you can. If you can go to bed at night knowing that you did your absolute best to make the greatest thing out of a situation, then you're well on your way to being successful. That's all you got to worry about. Worry about you. We, as a human being, we have to be, humane and take care of each other. But you need to be worried about what's going on with you and I'm gonna worry what's going on with me, and then we're gonna get together and make something big.
And that's what I feel like we're doing. With that being
Yes,
said,
ma'am.
we are going to focus on dealing with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I just got.
Dealing with yourself,
Deal
your
with
demons,
yourself,
the good, the bad.
know yourself,
Yes.
and then keep it moving.
The rest gonna fall in place.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you, Shay.
You're welcome.
Love
I love you, Pooh. Dang, look, we there.
We
We
still
there.
together.
Okay. After all these years.
Still together.